What's up, y'all? It's Sweet Lou here with a thought-provoking video. I want y'all to think, don't react. I want y'all to think, let it pass through your body, through your mind, feel what you feel, and then state what you think in the comments. I want to have an open and respectful conversation about this because whether we want to acknowledge it or not, it's real. So, this thought just came to me randomly, and I normally don't think about this point that much, but I was just sitting, and then all of a sudden I was like, what is a man? And in verse, what is a woman? Both go hand in hand. And I really was like going back and forth in my mind, and I was talking with Chat GPT, and then just remembering like my own past experiences with trans people, because I've trans friends, I've had old friends who've transitioned, stuff like that. I've talked to other people who are trans, and non-binary as well, because that can fit in there. But the point I'm trying to make is, like, what is a man? It's a simple question, but it has caused a lot of controversy recently. Now, we could simplify this in a weird way. So, we have new terms. I feel like my generation kind of gets it, especially in America. I have no idea about other countries because, I don't even think this is important to them because they have much deeper issues. But it is important because trans people are real. I know it sounds stupid as shit. I know we have a lot of issues, but they are people, they're humans, and above all else, human experience matters. So trans experience matters, okay? Let's get that out of the way. Second, there's trans, like we talked about, and cisgender. Cisgender is basically you're born a dude, you stay a dude, right? But that doesn't answer the question, what is a man? Because you're saying trans man and cis man. That's not a man, that's a cis man and trans man. Okay, and vice versa with women. So, what I thought about were like my past experiences and how I perceived people who called themselves trans. Now, there were trans men, and you saw how my face reacted. And trans man means a woman, you were born as a woman and then you transition to a man, who, when I look at them and perceive them, when I recalled it, I don't perceive them as a man, I perceive them as a woman. But there was a trans man, a woman at birth, transition to a man, who, when I looked at him, I was like, that's a dude. So you immediately, like, without knowing the person, just the way I perceived them was different, okay? So that got me questioning. I'm like, okay, well, what do I think? Is this person a man now because I perceive him as a man? And another thing, I had a friend, we were friends since we were like kids. I haven't seen them in a while. So when we were growing up, they were a boy, and then right around when high school ended, I found out they transitioned into a woman, changed their name, all that stuff. And I asked myself, are they a woman? And the reason I'm using they is because it is just the easiest word to use without controversy. You could literally be any human in the world and you could say they. It works. It's easy. And I asked myself, well, are they a woman? And my answer was no, because they have not had a woman's experience. They've had a man's experience, and now they're a trans woman. So you see this is where I'm like I don't know. This is where I'm fucked up. It's because I don't view them as a woman. Like, and you could say cis woman, right? But we're answering the question, what is a man? What is a woman? So you see where I'm fucked up, because I don't view that as a woman. And then I had another thought, like, so, myself, my experience, whatever, I've always felt I've just been a man. Like, I'm just a dude, right? But that makes me think there might be some people out there, as crazy as this concept might seem, this is something I thought of, there might be people out there who don't view me as a man. And, you could say it as like, oh, they view you as a bitch, they don't view you as a human, like, whatever. But, like, does anyone actually look at me and think I'm a woman? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think people are that bad anymore. But remember, in the past, people, like, think about slavery. Think about ancient times when they were people, and yet they were treated like nothing. They were viewed as, like, literally nothing. Like slaves were viewed as slaves. They were viewed as tools to be used. They were viewed as monetary value. They weren't viewed as people, right? So we got to look at, like, how the history of humans has evolved, and we have to ask ourselves, like, what is a man, what is a woman? And at the end of the day, this is the big point, like, because what is a man, what is a woman? It's really meaningless. It's really fucking stupid when you think about it. Does it matter? Not really. Like, yeah, it kind of does matter, but what's more important is we're human, and we need to love one another. That's kind of where I'm at. I haven't answered the question of what is a man, what is a woman. If you want my opinion, I think a man is someone, I can't even answer the question because I know I'm ignorant. Like, I still need time to, like, really think about it, and I honestly want to talk to people about it. Well, that's why I'm, like, recording this, because I want to, like, actually engage with others and be like, well, what's like, is there an answer? What? Because I know the easy answer is, if you're born with a penis, you're a dude, and if you're born with a vagina, you're a girl. But there was something really interesting that ChatGPT brought up. It's, you could be raised the wrong gender, if that makes sense. Like, I remember hearing this case about, and okay, you could call me ignorant for my terminology, but how I would say it is, there was a guy who was born with a micro penis who was, when the doctors checked him at birth, they didn't see the penis. They thought he had a vagina. So he was labeled a woman and lived as a girl until, like, his 20s. And those type of cases are really confusing, and they add to the conversation of what is a man, what is a woman. Because if you go your whole life thinking you're a woman, well, doesn't that make you a woman? Even though biologically, like, you're a man? So you can't say biology is the answer, because it still invalidates some people's experience. So the whole question of what is a man, what is a woman, is a complete mindfuck, and I can't answer the question. And that's kind of where I'm at. I would love to know what others think. I would love for you to comment. Like I said, please think, feel, don't react. Don't be commenting some bigoted shit, some ignorant shit. Remember, we're all human. We're all here with our own experience, and we're all trying to be our best selves and love one another. So that's my rant. Please let me know what you think. I love honest, good feedback. Let me know.